And then
Wait, and then it's like 4.
Huh?
And then
Not now.
Eddie's.
I got stuff
So
to
it
do.
goes boom, boom, boom. So you're not going to it's just like
we should just get +1.
well, it's like a study thing. I'm so excited to study.
It's kind of hard to grade everybody. That's what the world is.
I'm so excited to like raise my grade from like C's to B's and B's to A's. Am I right? So I can have 3 A's and only 2 B's then.
For every final.
She said the same.
All B's. Oh wait, you have all C's? Do you have any A's? Adam?
Okay, so today we're going to deal with a simple concept and that, well, simple concept, and that is angle of elevation and angle of depression. So we've got a scenario here where, and to make our lives a little bit easier, I'm going to do what we talked about you normally wouldn't do and have that person measure angles by putting their eye down in the ground. So we don't have to take into account their height. But I've got 2 people, one laying on the street with their eyeball in the street, and another person standing on top of a building. There are a couple, well, first of all, do you all see the right triangle here? Yeah. Okay, so the assumption is the building is perpendicular to the ground, and unless otherwise noted, we can assume that buildings are perpendicular, flagpoles are perpendicular, things that we're dealing with are perpendicular, because remember, none of this stuff works if you're not in a right triangle. I think that was a double negative, but we're going to let it go. Okay, so we're going to call this person, this guy's Bob,
Jimmy.
and this guy is,
Jim.
that's the best you can come up with?
Michael Jackson.
No, he's
How
dead.
about
Xavier.
Mohammed?
That's why he's in the. That's why he's in the.
Mohammed.
Xavier.
Muhammad Ali.
He's dead also.
Prince Ali.
Master Chief.
What?
Prince Ali. Fabulous.
From Aladdin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's on the cloud. Jack is right.
No, I said. Who'd you say?
It's the most
Okay.
common name in the world.
There are a couple angles in this picture that we're concerned about, and many of you will screw this up. So I'm going to go slow and use small words. We're going to talk about the angle from Prince Ali up to Bob first. So this angle here, which we'll call theta, that's a theta, it's a Greek letter, is called an angle of elevation. It goes from horizontal, we're assuming the ground is horizontal, up to the angle we're measuring. AoE, angle of elevation.
That's in our calculators.
It is?
Yeah, the theta thing, I think.
The theta thing is, yeah, it's not an angle of elevation.
Yeah, but the theta.
Any problems there? Okay. So, for instance, if Prince Ali knows that he's lying with his eyeball on the ground 50 yards from the building, could you not calculate the height of the building? Assuming, of course, that you knew what theta was. Or, if you knew the height of the building and you knew how far he was away from the building, you could calculate theta. Any problems there? That's always the easier one. The one that causes problems for people is the angle of depression. So now we go to Bob.
Oh, God. Is he depressed? Oh, I get it.
Bob's up on top of the building,
And he's not feeling.
and the angle that Bob measures is what's called an angle of depression. And what screws people up all the time is you want to consider that angle, the angle of depression here. It's not. Whoops, go away. First thing you need is a horizontal line. So notice the ground is horizontal and that imaginary line from Bob is horizontal. Therefore, what can you tell me about the relationship between the ground and this imaginary dashed line? They're parallel. Beautiful. What we still haven't addressed is where is Bob's angle of depression? Both the angle of elevation and the angle of depression are measured from horizontal. So Prince Ali is measuring from the horizontal upwards, because it's an elevation, meaning going up. Bob's angle of depression goes from horizontal downward. Okay, let's call that alpha.
Oh, is that also a Greek letter?
It is not the angle between the building and the blue line. That angle doesn't have a name. However, you could tell me how big that angle is if I asked, which I'm asking right now. How big is, let's call this beta? Beta, capital B with a tail.
The tail.
If we start with theta, let's say theta is, I don't know, 40 degrees. How big is beta? 50, good. Because that's a right triangle, so theta and beta are complementary. How big is alpha?
40.
40.
Why?
Complementary.
It's
Gavin?
a right angle right at the top.
So?
And then you subtract 40, so 90, and you get 50.
Excellent. One way to do it is if we already talked through the numbers. If theta is 40, then beta would be 50 because they're complementary. And there is a 90-degree angle up here. And 90 minus 50 would give me 40. Why else is alpha equal to 40 degrees in this case? What kind of angles are theta and alpha? No.
Inside interior.
In this particular case they are, but they don't have to. Nope. Hey.
Alternate interior.
Beautiful. Alternate interior angles. Since the ground and that imaginary horizontal line coming out of Bob's eyes are parallel, we all of a sudden have a transversal there.
No.
Okay. So the thing to notice here is that Bob's angle of depression is the same as Prince Ali's angle of elevation. In a problem, you're only going to be given one of those because if you're given one, you should be able to find the other. Make sense? Anything difficult about that? The struggle that you will face in these problems is not solving the trig. Theoretically, you should be able to solve a simple right triangle trig problem right now. The struggle is going to be drawing the picture. Most of them I have not given you pictures. You're going to have to draw your own picture. And as some of you found out on the quiz, if you draw the picture wrong, it screws up everything. So don't draw the picture wrong. Let me repeat one more thing. I will very seldomly, if ever, give you this angle measure. Okay? It's not relevant to the problem. I'm going to give you an angle of elevation, which is down by Prince Ali, or I'm going to give you an angle of depression, which is up by Bob. Okay? Either someone looking down or someone looking up. Elevation going up, depression going down. Questions? Outstanding. So, let's review. Today's Friday, you got day 7. On Monday, we're going to do a little bit more angle of elevation, angle of depression, because you will need it. On Tuesday, we're going to do a new type of problem called a mountain problem. On Wednesday, we will go over those mountain problems. On Thursday, you have a quiz. Friday and Monday, we will review for the final. Tuesday, we'll start your first of 2 parts.
No.
Come on, shut up. It's going to be mathematical bliss.
Yeah.
We gotta deal with
Not
it.
this
It's
semester,
real
next
life.
semester. We don't have time for it now. We will though.
I don't like it either.
Are you done? Good. It's a little bit more complicated than just run outside like animals escaping from the zoo. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little preemptive work because some of you are everybody's gonna use different techniques to get it. Now we're gonna see who's the closest.
Me.
And then panel to the left.
Yes.
Questions? Hot diggity.
Do you want to battle it? Eddie, do you want to know?